the FSF Popcast live show.
What a fancy video.
It only took me like 4 weeks, but I finally made a video that was designed to go with the new logo updates and everything. But, hey, whatever.
Procrastinators, unite tomorrow.
Next week. Oh, yeah.
Too soon. Never mind.
I felt a little pressured, Kathleen. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, tomorrow? Well, I don't know.
That's a little soon. Oh.
Asking a bit much.
Fine summer, fall, smallage Monday.
We're not late, John. You were late. Shush.
And then I just realized that jerk face. I do not need to clean my desk. My desk is fine.
The joys of having your spouse work on your computer stuff for you. No, I'm doing great. This is it's been a fantastic day. We with the holidays, so nobody had the kids didn't have school today. Shayna didn't have work. I didn't have work. We went out for a walk along the trail here in Newaygo County called the Dragons Trail. And I swear to God, Return of the Jedi was filmed on this trail. It looks like, it was pretty cool. So there's a reason why I said it looked like we were taking a hike in Endor today. But
you survived, so
we did. It was kind of funny. So we took both of our dogs. Mia absolutely loved it. Mia's our pit bull. Mia absolutely loved it. She was having a great time. There was all these people going by on bikes and joggers and she's like, oh my God, all these people to pay attention to me. Our corgi, about 3/4 of the way to the turnaround spot to come back the same way, because we walked around the end of this peninsula, around this cove on the water, and the corgi was not impressed on the way back. She was like, my legs are short. This is stupid. I hate you all.
Poor Toasty.
What's up, Fred? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for checking in, man. But yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm done with you guys. And she has been hiding under our bed since we got home.
Oh, poor Toast.
So, I told Shayna, I said, the next time I see her out walking through the house, I'm going to grab the leash and just hold it up and see what happens. See if she's like, no, I'm done. Screw you. I'm gone. So we'll see. But yeah. I started calling her Miss Piggy on the walk back because she was panting so hard.
Poor baby.
I think she needs more exercise. She's a little thick in the middle. Not that I'm
perfect in every way.
Yeah. Tim, what's your opinion of people who take their cat for walks on a leash? First off, if you can train a cat to walk on a leash, you are a better man than I am, or person. I don't really have a problem with people taking their cats for a walk. It's always a little startling when I see it, but I also think it's kind of cool when I see cats that are okay with being normalized and being outside and being on a leash, because most of them act like you have laid the biggest, thickest booger on their back and they can't move.
That's true.
So
he's over there just trying to start fights tonight.
He's trying. He's John. That's what he does.
But
yeah.
I know his wily, nasty little ways and what he thinks he's doing.
So this is our topic for tonight. Now we took 4 minutes to get here, but this is where we're going. Hey, we had fun on the way.
Look at us doing it in only 4 minutes. Gosh, Tim.
It was actually pretty impressive that it took me 4 minutes to get it up here on the screen. Shut up, Kathleen. Shut up.
Watch the way you're wording things, or I wouldn't laugh.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what I said as soon as I said it, and I was like, come back, pretty words, come back.
No, come back.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about some of the shows that are coming to television in 2024. So over the next couple months, we're not going to focus so much. We're not going to focus so much on stuff that's happening in 2025. Kathleen's going to have a small breakdown because of my word choices. Fred says, I tuned in to hear Big Thick Booger. You're welcome, buddy. John says, I've been spending too much time on Reddit. Fighting is just a thing with me now. If you've been on Reddit, that is definitely definitely something you're going to be dealing with. So, but yeah, we've got a lot of fun, a lot of cool things coming up for our conversation tonight. But before we get into any of that, we just want to again take our time to say thank you to our show partners, Storylines. They help us do all our editing for our shorts and a bunch of other stuff, and they've got a really cool new thing that they're helping us with. That's in the beta testing, and as soon as I can talk about it, I will talk about it. All I will say is it's very cool, a very helpful tool, and this is something that if you are a podcaster, you should be checking out. But Storylines is a very cool service, and we appreciate their partnership immensely.
They make us look pretty.
Something like that, yeah. And then there's TCT, where fandom meets fashion. If you want a nerd shirt for the state you live in, by golly, by gosh, they've got Star Wars, Star Trek, they've got cryptid shirts, they've got Stranger Things, they've got Lord of the Rings, they've got. Anyway,
They also make us look pretty.
They do. They gave us merch to help us look pretty. I'm not wearing any of their merch tonight, otherwise I'd show you my shirt. But yeah. And then of course, Level Up Sabers, the only lightsaber that's guaranteed to be better than a stick. Check out the links down below in our show notes, and give them each a click, and go buy some shirts. Use the code there. You'll get some cool merch.
And Level Up Sabers makes us look like pretty cool nerds. So.
Exactly, especially when we swing our swords around and they go brum, brum, brum. So anyway, but yeah, before we get into anything fun, we just want to be serious for just a quick moment. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Friends, we need you to stay. We're not just saying it. We need you to stay. We want you to stay. If this is something you're struggling with, if this is something you're thinking about, please just dial 988. There's somebody on the end of that line that will help you. Send me a message.
Send me a message.
I will talk to you. I'm not in your shoes. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're dealing with. But we want you to know that we care and that we need you to stay.
Tomorrow
needs you. Your family needs you. Your friends need you. All the people, yeah, they need you. So please stay. We need you to stay. And like I said, you can contact either one of us or dial 988. That's the numbers. There used to be a big long 1-800 number, but they put it down to a 988. So it's a very easy number to remember and dial, especially in a moment of crisis. You don't have to go looking for a number. I think that was actually pretty ingenious of them. It
really is. It is. And suicide numbers are far too high. The mental health crisis in the United States is disgusting. And
agreed.
Mental health is still physical health. The mental health field needs some work still, but you would go to the doctor for a broken bone, go to the doctor for a broken brain. It's the same thing. You need your brain to live. You need to take care of yourselves. We're here for entertainment, and I mean, that's our goal, is to make you laugh, to make you smile, but we need you here for that to work too.
Yeah. And so, Kathleen and I both work with mental health issues, and if you haven't already noticed, by the way, but
as I'm over here refilling my happy pills.
Exactly. But we want you to know that this isn't just something we talk about. This is something that we believe in, something that we know is important and urgent, and we're asking you to please stay. We need you to stay. So, but yeah. All right. So
being serious now.
We're done being serious for the moment.
Good. Yeah. That really hurt.
Yeah,
really
it's
hard.
Exactly right. Nobody. I don't want to be serious. All right. So we're moving into getting close to quarter. We're in quarter 3. We're getting close to quarter 4 for television series and the marketing agencies and all these things. What's that?
I said, I feel like that's a football reference.
Quarter 4 is also, there's a fourth quarter in football for sure, and a third quarter, and a second quarter, and a first quarter. There's also halftime, but that's before.
That's when the band gets to come out. That's the fun part.
That's exactly. So
and then the football players take over the band field.
Yes, they do. So, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool TV shows that'll be airing over the next couple months. And so Kathleen and I each picked, I think we each picked 4 shows that we are both or either not both of us are looking forward to, but maybe one of us is looking forward to more than the other, because Kathleen's got one in here that I didn't know was a thing until she wanted it on the list. And so we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But let's just jump right into those. And this first one is in honor of our good buddy Benjamin. Ben is not here tonight, but we want them to know that we think of them often, especially when we watch Rings of Power.
Oh,
So, love you, Ben.
They're gonna get you. They're gonna get a plane ticket from Alaska just to come smack you.
They might. But no, this is out on Amazon. This is out on Amazon right now. So if you're like me at all and you're not a big, I like Lord of the Rings, but it's not the end all save all at the end of the day. If something's not exactly accurate, it doesn't bug me as much as it probably would if it wasn't exactly accurate for Star Wars or Marvel or something along those lines. I enjoy it, but yeah. But yeah, this is season 2. John says season 2 is apparently supposed to be better than season 1. I have only watched the first episode of season 2 so far, John. And so the thing that it's very much the same is it looks the same, it feels the same, and they kept up the quality of cinematography that has become expected with Lord of the Rings. I think the pace of story and everything else is much better than what we saw in season 1. And as far as whether it ties into the lore, I do know that they talk about how this season is coming into the second age of Tolkien. So if that helps you any, John. And
I saw a thing today that Elrond's eyebrows were the way that they are because he'd spent 500 years yelling at people to destroy the ring. It's just permanently stuck that way now. Proof that if you make that face, it will stick that way.
Yeah, he spends spoilers. He spends most of episode 1 yelling at people to destroy the rings. Season 2. But it's a really good episode. The only thing that so confusing for me was that it does jump back and forth a little bit between some of the stuff that happened at the end of season 1 or what their interpretation of the first age was based on what they were allowed, the appendices that they were allowed to get for the first age, and where they're coming into the second age. So there's a little bit of back and forth and clear definitions now, mostly clear definitions of who are good guys and who are bad guys, all that kind of stuff, which for a certain point of season 2 or season 1 rather, that was not very clear. So yeah. But I think that that's much gooder, better, clearer now than it was back then. So that's that one. The next one that we have on the docket here are things that we are excited to watch. And so I have these kind of in chronological order, ones that are either out now or coming up soon. And then there'll be September, October, November. They'll be all in kind of monthly order. So the next one, which I believe this comes out in 11 days. Darth Jar Jar. So up until today, for whatever reason, I had this in my head, like firmly implanted in here, that this was a video game.
I think it's going to be both.
I hope so.
Because I want to play as Darth Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, I want to go nuts, and just go ham on people as Darth Jar Jar.
Flying around in the Millennium Falcon. Come on!
Yeah. But this is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So Misa be wanting to be seeing Darth Jar Jar on Disney Plus Bombad soon. Oh, that hurt. But yeah. So this is kind of like the Star Wars this is a Star Wars what if, basically.
It is. It is the Star Wars multiverse. The premise is the main character finds a machine that rebuilds the galaxy, and I think that he's trying to fix it after that.
Okay.
But where did my phone go? My phone is lost in the giant crochet blanket. Because I don't know. It's gonna be fun because it's Star Wars and it's Lego, and Darth Jar Jar.
John says, Yusa didn't read it into voice, Tim. Yusa be knowing better than that. Yusa been knowing that I wasn't going to do the voice, John.
So after finding an ancient relic that can rewrite reality at will, a young boy named Sig Griebling seeks out a solution to the changes with the help of an elusive Jedi long forgotten. So the thing that got me the most about this as I was looking at it earlier, and I'm stupid excited about it anyway, is the casting for it is pretty fantastic with wonderfully amazing Mark Hamill coming in and Ahmed Best coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But also Gaten Matazzaro. So
Easy
Dustin from Stranger Things is Sib Griebling, which I'm excited about.
Okay.
But then there's the one character's name is Jedi Bob.
I mean, who doesn't love Jedi Bob?
And that is Bobby Moynihan, which...
Oh, yeah. He's from Saturday Night Live, and
yes,
he's done a lot of he's done a lot of small characters in and out throughout Star Wars. He does some voice work for him. So yeah, that's not a surprise that Bobby.
No, it's gonna be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. So I'm kind of I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be one of those things that's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining, and I think the whole premise of the Star Wars or of the Lego shows anyway, whether it's been Marvel or train time, the whole premise of the Lego shows has been entertaining, like the Lego Batman stuff, the Lego movies, they're just fun. They're silly, campy, fun. And if you can get behind that level of silly, you're going to have a good time. And I think that that's probably one of the most important things. And I think one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to this show is that it has the ability to have that level of silly, but still tell a good story. And we're going to get some characters like, Darth Jar Jar and Jedi Bob, which John says that Jedi Bob is what happens when the players ask the GM what the name of the random Jedi Temple guard number 4 is. That's Jedi Bob. But he also says, okay, but seriously, there's a new black Lego Millennium Falcon model that goes along with the series. How cool is that? That is cool. That is very cool. Yeah. Anything that has Millennium Falcon, you had me at hello.
I just want the Darth Jar Jar figure. Like,
right?
I want Darth Jar Jar. And I absolutely love that after 25 years.
Yeah.
They're going to give us Darth Jar Jar.
They're finally steering back into the skid.
Because that is what Star Wars needs to do, is steer into the skid. Give us more Star Wars.
Yeah, screw the complainers. Just go have fun. Let's just do it. The new Falcon comes with the Darth Jar Jar figure.
Okay, so John, when we paint our ceiling black, turn it into stars, and start hanging the starships from the ceiling, because that is in my list of things I want to do for our bedroom.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Because I've got a Millennium Falcon over in the corner that needs to be hung up. We've got Poe's ship. We've got whatever Boba Fett's ship's name is now.
Slave One.
Whatever its new name is, because Slave One is not its name anymore.
Well, no, it's still Slave One. It's just they Lego's the only one who changed it.
Mm.
So.
But yes, we have ships to hang from the ceiling.
Great. Now Tim's gonna want to have a sleepover. You're dang tootin', I do.
I have every intention of painting our ceiling black and glittery and making it look like a night sky, and then hanging Star Wars ships from my ceiling. Tim's like, Shayna, we need to redo our bedroom. Never
gonna happen. As much as I might want it to, and trust me, I do. That might be something that happens in my office.
I was gonna say when Nolan finally moves out.
Well, there's something. I picked a good one to marry.
I also have fabric to make a Star Wars quilt for our bed. It was going to be done for our 10th anniversary, and I haven't started it yet.
Well, there's that. That's okay.
I only have like 111 days.
I don't know how long it takes to quilt anything, so I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that's fine. That sounds like you have plenty of time.
Well, I mean, I got the fabric for it 4 years ago, so. ADHD.
I'm trying to help you out here, kid.
There's no helping me. You should know that by now.
I do know better. That's the best part of it all. I do know better. John says, well, maybe for our 15th anniversary then.
Maybe. Or our 25th, babe. Let's be realistic here.
You beat me to that one. That was what I was going to go next. But yeah, so Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, Lego Star Wars, that comes out on September 13th. That will be on Disney Plus, and I am very, very much looking forward to that. The next one, it's one that I don't know how interested I am in it, but it has my attention because of the movie. Now, with that being said, it's the Penguin series that's coming as an HBO original.
That's yes.
Because that's Colin Farrell under that suit.
Right.
It looks nothing like Colin Farrell. It sounds nothing like Colin Farrell. And it looks like he was a really cool character in the Batman saga in the movie. Mm-hmm. And this is a continuation of that universe. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see Batman or Catwoman like we did in the movie. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, John, Bullseye is the Penguin under that suit. But yeah, it looks nothing like Colin Farrell, but Bullseye is the Penguin. But yeah, Matt Reeves did a really good job with the Batman movie. And even though he had the glitter bat, I was actually kind of impressed with Robert Pattinson. Is it Pattinson?
Pattinson, yeah.
Pattinson. He did a much better job with the overall acting in the movie. The thing you need to know about the movie, and I'm sure it's going to be the same because it's still in the Gotham era.
That they forgot how to turn the lights on? They
did forget to turn the lights on. That is one of the darkest movies. And I don't mean like dark in storyline. I mean, it is just, it's like, it is like, out in the woods with no moonlight at 12:01 dark. It is, when we went to the movie theater, I had to go to the bathroom. I had to open my phone and turn on the flashlight on my phone because even with the movie playing up on the screen, I couldn't see where my feet were walking. It was ridiculous.
That's terrible.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan doesn't know how to use a compressor or a volume knob. Well, these are done by Matt Reeves, but your argument about Christopher Nolan still stands. But yeah, so I haven't seen any clear indication as to. I mean, obviously, I think this is a prequel to the Batman movie, kind of leading up to that era where we'll watch. If you watch the movie where that's all leading up to. But this airs on HBO Max on, I think it's the 19th of September, the 19th or the 29th. I'm not positive on that one. I don't remember exactly.
I will say, too, when you said that Robert Pattinson did amazing or did very well, people seriously did not give him enough credit because, yes, his most known role is Edward from Twilight. And if you think about the fact that the Twilight Saga is awful, it's very much the same thing as the don't blame the actor, blame the writer, the director, the producer.
Right, which is what we preach for Star Wars, yeah.
Watch him in Water for Elephants. I love that movie. That movie is fantastic. His acting is great.
Is that a romantic movie? Sounds like
it is.
Okay.
But it's also about circus, so
there's that.
It's very fun.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched. What is it? Water for Elephants?
Water for Elephants. Yeah, it's also got Reese Witherspoon in it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've even ever heard of that movie.
It's a book that then got turned into a movie, and it is one of the few books turned into a movie that I will say that the movie is almost as good as the book.
Oh, okay. John says Robert Pattinson absolutely sparkles in nearly every role.
No, John, there's a drinking game with your name on it.
But yeah, so that's coming. The Penguin is coming to HBO Max. That is a DC original. It's an HBO original. So I'm thinking that because this is coming to HBO Max, it's going to be a little grittier, probably have some adult big boy words in it. So prepare for that. But yeah, that'll be coming to the TVs in just a couple weeks here. The next one is one of the ones that you requested, and
Yes.
it is, yes, and I've only watched a few episodes of this, but it caught me off guard in like the first 30 seconds.
Yes, the TV show that tells nerds that it's okay to dream big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yes, the season 3 of Legends of Vox Machina, so based off of Critical Role's campaign 1, while they are also in production of the first season of Mighty 9, which is campaign 2. So yes, season 3 premieres October 4th, I believe. I've got it scheduled in my Google Calendar so I don't forget. But it is very much here are these little nerdy voice actors who started a YouTube channel that then did a Kickstarter, that then Amazon said, hey, we'll make that a TV show. It's okay to dream big, guys. Sometimes it works.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not a kid's show.
Very much no. And that's why I said I was startled in the first 30 seconds. When
the first 30 seconds of the very first episode,
the dwarf.
did you get to Scanlan?
Is he the dwarf?
He's a gnome.
Okay, the gnome. Yeah, and you see a whole lot more of the gnome than I was really anticipating.
Yep.
I was like, is that is okay? All right.
Yeah. The very intimate drawing of a gnome.
There is nothing you could have said that would have prepared me for gnome wiener on my screen.
I don't think there's any way to be prepared for that.
There isn't, because I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this show. I've heard it's very funny. It's
yep.
And I clicked on it and I was like, what? Hello. Andrew Wilson's yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, he was packing. But yeah, that should not be the highlight of why somebody goes and watch that show. There's other things that are there are other things that are much more entertaining than that portion of it. It's just that if you're not anticipating that, if you weren't expecting that, that will grab your attention for at least a good 5 to 10 seconds and make you go, did I just see what I thought? I did see what I thought I saw. Okay, then.
So allow me to make the experience worse or better. I don't know. So the voice actor for Scanlan is the incredibly talented Sam Riegel.
Okay.
Who is also Ketch in Bad Batch.
Okay.
He is he does a bunch of voices for Jedi Survivor, for Kif. But there's just it is one of those things that, like, you have heard this man's voice so many different places, and then they animated his character.
That is just
yeah.
It's kind of impressive. Andrew also asked, did the gnome roll a d20? For that portion of his charactership, he sure did. I assume the ratings won't be flaccid.
Oh boy.
No, they are not. They are.
I will say though that for as in your face as Scanlan is in the first episode, he actually has a very fantastic character arc. In addition to his other crusades.
In addition to his other benefits of being Scanlan.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so there is definitely that.
There was
But
something else. I just saw his name on the other day we were watching that I did
Andrew,
that moment of the wait, what?
Andrew says, "I'll behave."
Why?
Maybe. You say you behave, but you don't say how you'll behave. I get you. Hey-oh, it's Crusher Convo. Hi, Jesse. Yay! By the way, if you guys are looking for a really good Star Trek podcast, strongly suggest you guys check out Crusher Convo with Jesse. She is one of our favorite Star Trekian people, and she is my personal Trek Sherpa. Anytime I've got a Trek question, I go to Jesse, and she's always very kind about.
She doesn't tell you that you're dumb?
No, she's the anti Star Wars fan, and I love that about her. But yeah, go check that out. She just has a big affinity for Beverly Crusher, and rightly so. Beverly's a great character, and going through all the different shows and how Beverly affects those shows. So it's a really cool look and lean on the Star Trek universe. But yeah, all right. So that's Vox Machina. That, like I said, that comes to Amazon in October. And yeah. Next, this is also a Kathleen pick.
I didn't even know this was going to happen until I was looking at shows coming up today.
Right?
Sorry.
I don't even know what it is. I didn't even have a chance to look into it. I just grabbed the picture and threw it up there.
So
you said it has something to do with Young Sheldon. That's all I know.
Yes, it is a spin-off of a spin-off. So it is the spin-off of Young Sheldon, which was originally a spin-off of Big Bang Theory. So Georgie is Sheldon's older brother. And it's just... I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember who Georgie is.
So yes, that is Georgie and
played by Jerry O'Connell in Big Bang.
Yes. And in Big Bang Theory, Georgie mentions during Sheldon's wedding episode, I believe, that he's been married twice. So in Young Sheldon, when he has this relationship with Mandy, who is played by Emily Osment, it is the... Oh, gosh. Whether or not they get married multiple times, if Mandy and Georgie end up not working together and they go their separate ways, nobody really knows, but it's going to be interesting, I think, to see where they go with the spinoff of a spinoff. Okay.
Yeah, I could not even think of who Georgie was until you mentioned that it was Sheldon's older brother, and I'm like, oh yeah, that it just was not even clicking for me. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering how this is going to do, being a spinoff of a spinoff, and is Georgie a big enough character that people are going to care about?
Right. And with Young Sheldon having just ended, is it going to work, or are people going to have completely lost interest at this point?
Right, and I think that's kind of the interesting question, because you're a spinoff of a spinoff. A very minor character who's only on the original show a handful of times.
Right.
I've never watched Young Sheldon, so I don't know how prevalent.
He's very prevalent in Young Sheldon, but also how long can CBS milk off of Big Bang Theory, I guess, is the big thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. How much milk is left in this cow? Because I'm picturing, like, there's the image of the cow that you can see all the skin and bones and the udders hanging down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking here of. Let's see. Andrew says it'll tank, calling it now. I think it will too. I don't think it's going to make it past. It's got a pilot and a couple episodes, and I think that's all they're going to do with this, and it's going to be done. I don't see how it continues.
I think CBS might give it a full season. But of course, at this point in television history, a full season is apparently now 8 episodes. So.
Well, and we'll discuss that more on Thursday in our sidebar.
I'm not bitter, you're bitter.
Hint. But yeah, I love it when that they're giving a show a chance to go. But I wonder, is there another show out there that could have taken a time slot and done better?
Right.
Than a spinoff of a spinoff.
Is there a show that they could have, they had years ago that they canceled after one season?
is there something in particular you're thinking of?
Well, I mean, everybody thinks Firefly when you think that originally, but no. I think it was actually NBC had it, but they had Terra Nova,
Okay.
which was a fantastic TV show that got one season, and then nothing.
Isn't that the one that were like they were reformatting the Earth or in Earth, and they had dinosaurs and
yes,
yeah,
and they
I remember that.
Their
I actually
budget
remember that.
CGI dinosaurs, and the show tanked because of it.
Yeah, I remember that. They put too much money in the dinosaurs, not enough in the story writing. But it was a decent show. But okay, well that comes out in October and will be off air by November.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Andrew says all we were saying is give peas a chance. That's a great side dish, but not a main course. Exactly.
And they don't belong in nachos.
Who puts them in nachos?
Fred.
Oh.
We just need to play. We just need to get Andrew James Spooner's clip again, and just every time Fred gets mentioned.
Even Andrew Wilson.
Clip, John.
Andrew Wilson's like, what the hell? You know, actually, I have that saved. I can make it and put it in here so we can just play Andrew James Spooner going, stupid name. But yeah. Yeah, hell no, just no. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, again, peas are fine on their own, but throwing them in a taco seems like murder. Okay. Well, we're just going to cleanse the palate on all of this then. The next one is one that I'm actually very much looking forward to. This comes in November. This is another HBO Max original, and this is Dune Prophecy. So if you're a fan of the Dune shows, this is set 10,000 years before what we see in the movies, you know, Dune Part 1 and Part 2. So none of the cast of characters that you are familiar with will be in there. None of the actors that you're familiar with in the most recent movies will be in there. Anything like that. So I'm excited to see what this will be. How this, you know, this is Dune Prophecy. This is all prequel stuff, and as you know, with prequel stuff, yes, very much before the very poorly designed pre-Dune popcorn bucket. So yes, very much before that. So I get nervous when prequel shows come out like this because I worry that they're going to cut corners. I worry that they're not going to push it to the same level as the show. And I don't mean like we're not talking. I'm hoping they're able to push past the 84 Dune movie. But the two recent movies are actually really very good, in my opinion. And if they can't bring this show up to that level, I think it actually hurts the movie franchise.
I guess my biggest question is, unlike Rings of Power, do they actually have access to all of the information that they want to use for the show?
As far as I know, yeah, because you know, Herbert's work is not as exclusive as Tolkien's. And
good.
I mean, you know, because you've got Frank, and then his son took over at a certain point, and he started writing Dune stories, and so there's a line there of which are actually Frank Herbert stories and which one are Jedi Bob's. I don't remember his son's name. I'm just going back to Jedi Bob.
Dune writer number 2.
Right. Yeah. Dune numero dos. Yeah. So is this sand dune going to be really good, or is it just one giant cat box? That's what we'll have to figure out. But I'm curious I'm curious as to where this is going to go, how it's all going to work out. It still has the Bene Gesserit in it. It still has the, you know, the Harkonnens and all, you know, all the names. All the names are there from, you know, the things that you'll recognize, and things that may have drawn you into the Dune movies will also be here in this show. But the other question is, again, and I don't know, because this is on HBO Max, does it, and being a Max original, is it going to be like the same rating as the movies, or because it's on HBO Max and a private streaming channel, is it going to be a little bit more of an edgy, grittier show? Maybe go for a hard PG-13 or a light R style rating. Whatever the TV equivalents of those. I don't remember what they are.
TVMA.
Yeah, TVMA, and the other one's what, like TV-14, I think? Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Okay. Yeah, so is it gonna be TV-14 or will be TVMA? What are they going to allow to be shown? It will be different from the movies. But as popular as the Dune movies have become, I really am concerned that if this show doesn't go off well, it will hurt the movie franchise that they're building because there are more Dune movies coming. So, Crusher Combo says, "Oh boy, hubby loves Dune, so let's see how this goes. We'll expect a full report back."
Yes, please.
So, John says, "I haven't read Dune, so for once, I won't have any preconceived opinions." Actually, John, that's where I'm at as well. I mean, I tried reading Dune, but my mind was already spoiled from the movie, and so the '84 movie when I was a kid, so I had a hard time getting into the books.
I have not made it past the 30-minute mark of the 1984 movie. I don't know if I'm gonna even try.
It's really pretty rough for the '84 movie, so I wouldn't try. But the current movies are good. From what I understand, the books are really good, and if I've been told, don't hold the '84 movie against books. It's not a fair conversion.
Which, I mean, I feel like that should just be the solid rule for any book that's been turned into a movie is don't hold the movie against the book.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had an episode before where we talked about how that's really not fair because, there's so much that's in a book that doesn't make its way to the movie screen because you just don't have the time.
Right. You can't judge a person by a 2.5-hour conversation when you don't know the rest of what's gone on in their life. Don't do it to a poor movie. And look, books are better than people.
I think that's a little bit different, but yeah, I think I can.
Books are better than people.
If I spend 2.5 hours with you and I think you're a tool bag, you probably are.
But you don't know why that person's a tool. You might not know the things that turned them into a tool.
I don't need to know sometimes.
You might not know the 97 different ways a hobbit cooked a potato.
This is also probably true. I like how you're just trying to find the silver lining there, and I love you for it. Crusher Combo says, "I will let him know of his assignment." Very good, very good.
Whether or not he chooses to accept it.
Exactly. She's actually never seen Dune. Interesting that your husband loves Dune that much and you've never seen it. Interesting. Time to watch Dune, Jesse. Dune up.
If you can make it past the 30-minute mark of the 1984 movie, you've done better than me.
No. Don't do that to her. That's not fair. We like Jesse.
That's true.
We like this. Watch the more recent
the one with
versions.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, exactly.
Chalamet will make it better.
If you, John's.
Oh gosh, no. Okay, so maybe after my gallbladder surgery, when I'm doped up, I'll try Dune again.
Ooh, yeah. If you can make it through the 80s Dune movie, Kathleen, we can try the 90s. Oh boy, I don't know about that. Andrew says, Kathleen, so many people are mental McNuggets.
That's true.
Mental McNuggets. I love it. Crusher says it took 18 years for me to see TNG. Baby steps. All right. Yeah, but anyway, that comes out in November, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And from the still shots I've seen, I think it's gonna. I think it might be pretty decent, but it just still, like I said, it has me worried. Up next is a Kathleen pick.
It is a Kathleen.
Here's a Kathleen pick. Kathleen.
The second half of season 7 of Outlander, which only makes me a little bit angry that they promised us an extended season 7 because season 6 got cut short because of the pandemic. And then the extended season got split into 2, and it's been over a year since we got the first half of the season. I do like men in kilts. They're very breezy.
Women and kilts. Anyway.
So yes, this is November 22nd that the second half of season 7 comes out, and then season 8 will be the finale of Outlander, which makes me a little bit sad, but then they are actually going back and doing a prequel series that'll come out after season 8 that, again, prequels I have some issues with usually, and like Tim has already talked about, prequels are sometimes sketchy. But in a time travel show, prequels are fun. Because there are things that happen in the prequel books that'll probably be in the prequel show that also happen in the book and in the series. So, I don't know. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
John has a kilt guy?
He does have a kilt guy. We need to make that happen.
I would totally rock a kilt.
You would. As long as you make sure that you wear boots, because nobody wants to see little tiny white toothpick ankles.
Well, I don't have toothpick ankles, so that's really not a problem. They are very white, though. I'm Irish. I really can't help that. That just kind of is part of the territory. No haggis. Well, according to Graham McTavish, who we've had the joy and pleasure of interviewing,
yes,
he says that it really depends on where you get the haggis from and what they're making it with. So, he says if we come to Scotland, there's a place that we have to try there.
That's
for the haggis, but one day I will make it there to Ireland and Scotland and all the lands. Will Sam show up from Quantum Leap in Outlander?
No.
Wrong Sam, but there's Sams, so there's Sams. John says I want to try watching Doctor Who in timeline order when things along the actual timeline. Not just
oof. That would be fun. And also,
that's a lot of Doctor Who.
Are we going back to the original or just to the 2005?
Well, yeah, that's the bigger question, right? Because you have years and years and years of Doctor Who, past the 2005. John says you guys need to go back to Ackroyd's this fall.
I don't want to go to Ackroyd's.
I don't know what Ackroyd's is.
Ackroyd's is a bakery in Ann Arbor that sells haggis.
Okay. John says yes, all of the Doctors, Kathleen.
For
the OG. Yeah, Doctor Who. So, but yeah, so I've only watched a couple episodes of Outlander. This is one of those shows that I want to get into, but I keep getting distracted with other things.
And there is a lot of adult content in this as well, because it's for stars, and they can get away with a lot.
Well, yeah.
And it is also
subscription-based service.
Technically a period romance. But
time traveling, right?
Right. So Claire is originally from the 1940s and gets pulled back into time into the 1700s. So.
Okay.
There's a lot of back and forth and twisty turny. You end up seeing the Battle of Culloden and the downfall of the Highland ways, which is heartbreaking. And then they end up in current season. They're actually in America about at the beginning of the Revolutionary War. So
yeah, I was going to ask you about that because some of the images I was looking at, and I didn't include it here because I wasn't sure if that would throw people off, but there are ones showing the British flag and the colonial flag. So.
Yes. So currently, and this is, honestly, at this point, the books have been out since I think the first book came out in 91 or 92.
Vid Angel.
But at the end of season 7, Claire and Jamie are in America at the beginning of the Revolutionary War. Brianna, who is their daughter, and her husband Roger and their kids are in Scotland in the 1980s. But then their son, Jeremy, is kidnapped and taken through the stones. So then Roger ends up going through the stones to go try to find him and ends up actually he ends up meeting Jamie's parents before Claire had ever gone back there. So there's a lot of wibbly wobbly back and forth. It's hard to keep track of timelines. I don't know how Diana Gabaldon has done it.
Okay, so Hollycraft Original says they tried watching that show with Vid Angel.
Okay, so I think Vid Angel is the
I looked it up because I was not sure what it was.
Isn't it the one that like clears it
Yeah, VidAngel is an American streaming video company that allows the user to skip objectionable content based on user preferences regarding profanity, nudity, sexual situations, and graphic violence. So,
I don't know how much of the show you would actually get at that point.
I hope you like the opening credits and the closing credits. Yeah, I love that theme song. All right, next week we'll tune back in. So, but yeah, I had to look that up. I did not know. I was like, VidAngel, why does that sound so familiar? I once I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that now. I've heard of that before. So, all right, and the last selection, and this one comes out in December, once again on Disney Plus, and I am stoked about it. Goonies in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually submitted my article today to my editor for Couch Soup. I just so you guys know, I write for a website called Couch Soup, and so this is one of the articles that I wrote about, talking about how cool I think this show is going to be, some of the things I'm looking forward to in it, all that kind of stuff. But this to me very much feels like if there was ever a Goonies in space made, or Far, Far Away Stranger Things, this is it.
Okay, I want a Goonies sequel now, but with the original Goonies actors as grown-ups.
I would love to see them as adults and have to do something with their kids as an adventure.
I just want more Sean Astin.
Well, yeah.
And Kei Kwan.
So, but yeah, I think it'd be kind of a cool show to see at that point. But there's some things that I'm unclear on. As far as Skeleton Crew, it looks like Jude's Law character may or may not be a Jedi. We're not sure if he's a Jedi or if he's somebody that's Force sensitive. Please let him be Jedi Bob. That would be awesome tie-in between the two upcoming Star Wars shows. But his name in the show is Jad Nawadu, something like that. Yeah, this show look. Oh, Andrew, I don't think Star Wars is dead. Not even close. Star Wars still has a lot of life in it, a lot of stuff coming out. So, yeah, very much excited. And other good news, that's why is it taking so long to get to season 2 of Ahsoka? That's what's killing me. Oh, if only we had somebody talking about the time between episodes for these seasons. And oh wait, that's Thursday on our sidebar.
Yes,
the FSF podcast. So that'll be out Thursday morning at 8 a.m.
There was a bit of cackling happening with that sidebar as well. I'm slightly concerned.
No, it's nowhere near as catty as the last couple.
Well, when he asked me which grandpa picture do I need to use?
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I watched it this afternoon.
For no context, just should I use the grandpa from The Simpsons or Grunkle Stan? I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I know what yeah, that's
I do now.
But yeah. Oh, Ahsoka's not a train wreck. Andrew, Ahsoka was a very good show. That was a lot of fun. I will say this, though. I would still like to know who Maraka is. They never... That's one of those little mysteries that's just kind of hanging out there in the mist. See what I did there? Green mist from Maraka.
Whoa, look at you go.
Whoa, look at me go. But yeah, I'm that's one of those things I would like to see solved, but I will probably never, ever get an answer to, but that's okay.
Can I also, while we're talking about how not dead Star Wars is, just put out into the ether and hope that Disney's little Disney bugs are listening? I want more Hayden.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to know why Vader is scary. I want more Hayden.
We need, and I will say this until it actually happens, until I'm blue in the face. I need a Darth Vader series, and
yes.
I need it more than 8 episodes. I need him with the 501st chasing Jedi
across
the galaxy, being the Vader that we got to see in Obi-Wan and in the hallway of Rogue One.
There is so much between the helmet being put on in 3 to the beginning of 4 Give me
Huge
more
time
Vader.
gap. Yeah, there's a huge time gap there. And the thing is, for as big of a villain as Vader is, we never really see him fully
Right.
get to be Vader in the movies, except for that one little bit in Rogue One, and we get to see him a little bit in the Obi-Wan series.
And that's the thing, is like in the Obi-Wan series, I mean, in Rogue One, that hallway scene is fan-freaking-tastic, and we've talked about that until we were both blue in the face. But
Yeah.
in Obi-Wan, when they showed how flippin' strong he is, pulling the ship out of the air, the interactions between him and Obi-Wan, and sure, saying that there's issues with the continuity of the story. Nobody cares about the continuity of the story anymore. We just like our Star Wars.
Right.
But I want scary Vader.
Scary
Show
Vader
me
would be a lot
why
of fun.
he's scary. Show
Yeah.
me why people didn't try to overpower him and try to take him down. Why is he the big bad villain that we all love so much from episodes 4, 5, and 6?
There's a book by Delilah S. Dawson called Rise of the Red Blade.
Yes.
And that is an amazing, amazing book. And it shows what life inside of the Inquisitorium was like,
Mhm.
and how rough it was having to put up with Vader, and how Vader would basically beat the living crap out of all these Inquisitors until they went out and found, all these Jedis and things all
Right.
around the
And like Jesse was agreeing with me, we do need more Hayden. We need to let him have
Him
his
and Ahmed.
own character arc, his own redemption arc, because Hayden did not deserve the hate that he got for the prequel trilogy. Ahmed Best did not deserve the hate that he got for the prequel trilogy. If you're going to hate the prequel trilogy, hate the people who wrote the prequel trilogy.
Be mad at George. Be mad at George, not at Hayden, not at
at
Ahmed.
the people who are doing what they were told.
Yep.
And
So-
as Hayden has already proven, he is so much better than that writing.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, so we've got some cool shows coming up, things that we'll be able to nerd out about over the next few months, and that's just until 2024. We haven't even dipped into 2025. We'll get into that probably around first of the year. Talk about what's upcoming for the 2025 year, things that we can watch, things that we can be excited about. As a reminder, speaking of Star Wars and how cool Star Wars still is. So last Friday we posted our interview with Dr. Chris Kempshall. Chris is a Star Wars historian, and he wrote that really cool book there, which is called Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. I absolutely love that book. So the cool thing about Chris is that he has a PhD in history. He is a World War I historian. He wrote about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, the rise and fall of the world powers around the time of World War I, the battles that changed World War I, all these different things. And then, as you can see from these book titles that are on screen there, he applied those same stories to the galaxy far, far away, because he's also a massive Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so the book, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, talks about how Palpatine came to power, shows how he came to power, how he stepped over all these people, how he did all the things to do the things to be the mean guy, and then how that all fell apart as we know that it did. It's a really, really interesting book, and it's not written like a history textbook. It's written like a story. It's very cool. Strongly suggest you guys checking that out. But that interview is available, of course, here on our YouTube channel, and of course, anywhere you get your audio podcasts from. So, yeah. Let's see. Jesse, real quick. She says, literally was having this conversation with a hubby today. If you don't like something, it isn't the actor's fault. Why attack them? So frustrating. Absolutely, Jesse. Because unfortunately, people suck. Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, yes, that's the way it is. Unfortunately. But yeah, so yeah, go check out that interview and go get his book. Honestly, it's a really cool read, and it is available if you're an Audible person like me. It is available for listening on Audible.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up for our next episode, this upcoming Friday, is our interview with Dee Wallace. And we have that episode entitled There's Something About Marys, because Dee Wallace has played a character named Mary, I think 7 times. It's either 5 or 7 times. But she was Mary in Cujo, she was Mary in E.T., and she was Mary in like three or four other movies. So, but and her latest movie out is called Stream. And yeah, so we talked to her because Dee Wallace is a scream queen. She has been in more horror movies than you can give her credit for, but she is like honestly one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But we talk a lot about her. Excuse me, that was unexpected. We talk about her social media and how it keeps getting hacked, and these people. She's done a lot of good things with her social media and trying to help people and reach out with people and help them through some really rough things in their life, and how people have hijacked her page to put some really pretty awful stuff up on there. So she's trying, and she's fighting with Facebook, and guess how that fight is going?
Toward the Zuckerbots?
Yep. Yeah, the Zuckerbots are not giving her any attention. She cannot get them to pay attention to anything that she's sending them.
That's
I'm like, yeah. So they're like, well, if you were Meta subscribed, why would she subscribe to Meta if you're not going to take care of her now?
Right.
You're only going to help out if she's got
money
if you
on
have her
this
money.
company that doesn't give a crap.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we loved Elaus too. She was so sweet and so kind. And so yeah, we're excited to share that interview that's coming up this coming Friday.
And eventually we'll have interviews that aren't just Tim again.
Actually, these two interviews are just me. So
that's why I'm saying eventually it'll be that it's not just Tim.
Hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's the reason why we have a whole crew here. And then if one of us can't go, then usually we have somebody else who can. Life has been kicking everybody in the short ones here, so we're just all trying to keep our head above water, and however that actually works out, then that's what we're trying to do. But
thought it was water, but it was actually tequila.
If it was tequila, I'd be a little bit happier. I'd be dancing.
Tequila is dangerous.
Tequila makes me dance. All the clothes stay on, so that's good. That's not like the song.
Sing to potatoes. Tequila makes you dance.
What makes me sing to potatoes?
Guinness.
Guinness, yes. Guinness makes me sing to potatoes if I've had enough of it. Mixed with some Jameson, that does tend to happen. But tequila does make the back door wiggle a little bit.
So what is the alcohol that Tim shouldn't drink? What doesn't work well for the Tim?
I don't know, actually, and I don't know that I want to find out.
Because John has discovered that, and I'm sorry, John, I'm giving out your secrets. John's discovered that beer makes him very, very cranky.
I actually know a few people like that they had to stop drinking beer because the wheat in the beer was reacting oddly with their system, and it would either give them massive headaches. Like he'd have a really good friend of mine would have 2 beers at max, and he'd wake up the next morning almost like with a hangover headache. And that's all he drank.
There is a difference with if it's a like Budweiser's. A lot of people have issues with Budweiser's because it's a rice fermentation instead of a wheat fermentation. And the rice fermentation can cause migraines.
And it's horrible.
And it's disgusting. That's true. But yeah, John discovered that beer makes him really grumpy. Whiskey makes him giggly, which is hilarious. But
yeah, I don't know that there's one. There's ones that I won't drink because I think they're gross, but there's a whole other story.
What do you think is gross?
Well, we're not going to share that online, but there's stories. Yeah, Jesse can't drink the wheat because of the inflammation. Yeah, understood.
That makes sense.
Understandable. Yeah. And just, hey, as we're closing out here tonight, guys, again, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Please dial 988 for if this is something that you've thought about, if this is something you're feeling. Like we said at the beginning, we need you to stay. If this is something you've thought about and you don't want to call that number, send me a message. I will talk to you. I will video chat with you. I will, whatever is going to help you stay. We will, just message us. We care. We want you to be there for your friends, for your family. Most importantly, we want you to be there for you. So, but yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And any parting words before we head out here?
I don't think so, other than I hope that all of the wonderful Midwestern viewers, listeners are enjoying the beginning of meteorological fall. We're getting there. Technically, September 1st is the beginning of the meteorological version of fall. Fall equinox isn't until September 22nd, but we are heading towards sweater weather.
I wore a hoodie today out on my hike. It was awesome.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, thanks, Justin. You
I'm
rock.
over here crocheting a blanket for my brother, and actually like not roasting under it while it's on top of me, and I love this. But that's also unfortunately why the neighbors' dogs were as loud as they were, is because our window was wide open. 110 days until winter. That is beautiful, John.
Ugh.
The mosquitoes go away. The tourists go away.
Romulan sweater weather.
Mm.
All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, go check out Jesse over at Crusher Convo.
Yeah.
If you like a good Star Trek show, she rocks.
And even if you don't like a good Star Trek show, go check her out and learn to appreciate Star Trek. So
exactly, because she's awesome and we love her. And she, but anyway.
She puts up with our crap.
Okay, exactly. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Copyright 2024 FSF Podcast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF Podcast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpodcast.com.